You are welcome to today's class. In today's class, we will be looking at how to write a good background of the study. How do you write a good background of the study? Let's take this topic for instance. Effects Taking this topic for instance, effects of YouTube videos and Edumodi instructional technology on student achievement and interest in economics. If we look at this topic, this is an experimental study. Effects of YouTube videos and Edumodi instructional technology on student achievement and interest in economics. The study area of this topic is not there. The study area can also be included by saying that effects of YouTube videos and Edumodi instructional technology on students' achievement and interest in economics in Education District 6, Lagos State. In education, now we now look at the topic effects of YouTube videos and Edumodi instructional technology on student achievement and interest in economics in Education District 6, Lagos State. What is the first thing to do and to identify in this topic? We know that the independent variable in this topic is YouTube videos and Edumodi instructional technology. These are the two independent variables we have in this topic. Then the dependent variables are achievement and interest. The moderating variable, let's assume gender. Then economics is the subject. The area of the study is Education District 6. See, those are the key points in this topic. Then if you don't want to write the background of the study, you simply say, to write your background of the study, you come down by saying chapter 1 first. Chapter 1, introduction, then it will be at the center. You move it to the center of the page. When it's at the center of the page, you can see. Now, you come to the left hand side and write background of the study. Back. Now, you write background of the study. Now, after you finish your background of the study, you go back to the topic. Look at this topic very well now. Effects of YouTube videos and Edumodi instructional technology on student achievement and interest in economics. How will you like to start your work? How will you like to start? Will you like to start with the independent variable or the dependent variable or the subject or the area of the study? You can use any one of it to start your background of the study. Some supervisor prefer students should start with the independent variable, while some will say that no, I want you to start with the subject depending on supervisor. The most important thing is just pick one of them and use it to start. Then if your supervisor is not too okay with what you used to start, he will only tell you that okay, move this to this, start with this, then you will just move it. So there will not be any issue, and there is no any issue on that. Now, effects of YouTube videos and Edumodi instructional technology. We will be starting this with educational technology. Before you go into the discussion, as you can see, I will advise you to, the first thing in your first paragraph, discuss what you know as educational what? Technology. In your first paragraph, discuss educational technology in your first paragraph. Don't highlight those things you want to discuss. Just start with a paragraph straight. Discuss educational technology in this your discussion of education, what is educational technology? Don't start with definition. Start with a broader view of educational technology. For instance, you can start with something like teaching without educational technology now could not be interesting to students and thereby have effect on their academic achievements all over the world. Or anyhow you wish to start it with, just start with something that will be very okay. Then after starting with it, then state the meaning in the next sentence. Let us understand the meaning of educational technology. Give about 2 or 3 authors meaning of educational technology, that is their definition. After giving it, then you now end it with your own operational definition for educational technology. Then in your last paragraph, let us understand that there are various types of educational technology. Then you now talk of those types of educational technology. Now, in your second paragraph, now you are now discussing about types of educational technology. But don't write it there that types of educational technology. Just says that there are different types or forms of educational technology, such as Google Classroom, CK12, ClassDojo, Kahoot, and so many others. Just only 3 is okay. Then, in the next sentence, pick them one by one. Explain a little about that Kahoot educational technology. Then let us know its shortfall. What is the shortfall of that Kahoot educational technology? You state its shortfall. You pick the other one also too, CK12. You state the shortfall of CK12 also too, after explaining what CK12 is in brief, not in details. Then the shortfall of CK12, you pick the third one also too. For instance, Google Classroom application. You state the shortfall of it also too, after explaining in brief. Then you now, in the last sentence, it is the shortfall of these other technology, educational technology application or educational technology that is now making you to look into YouTube videos and Edumodu instructional technology. Now you have given a very good reason why you are limiting your study to only those 2 technologies, and the reason why you are trying to compare both of them. Then in the next paragraph, you can now move and start with what? YouTube videos. You now start with YouTube video. Let us know the meaning of YouTube video. Explain in details what YouTube video is. And then give your own operational definition of YouTube video. After that, then you can now move to what? Edumodu. You can now move to Edumodu instructional technology in the next paragraph. Discuss what you know as Edumodu instructional technology in the next paragraph. After discussing your Edumodu instructional technology in the next paragraph, let the discussion of the Edumodu now lead to what? Let it lead to economics, which is the subject. Now you discuss economics. What is economics in brief? State like 2 or 3 authors' definition of economics, then end it up with your own operational definition of economics. If there is branches of economics, you can also explain. In just only 1 paragraph is okay for you to do all this, or 2 paragraphs. Now, when you now explain, remember to give your own operational definition of economics. After explaining what economics is, then let that now lead you to what you know as secondary school students. Now, let that leads to secondary school students / education district 6 or educational district 6. Education district 6. Now, you now discuss secondary school students. What do you understand about secondary school students? Explain them in details. Let us have good knowledge of secondary school students. Then, the study area too should be discussed in that paragraph. Discuss the study. Let us know about the study area. Then, you cannot let that discussion to lead you to achievement or academic achievement. Now, it now leads you to academic achievement. You now discuss what academic achievement is. the meaning of academic achievement, give like 2 or 3 authors of academic achievement, then end it up with your own operational definition. You can now relate the academic achievement to YouTube videos and Edumodi instructional technology. Then after that, you now discuss interest. You now discuss interest too in the same way you have discussed your academic achievement. And then next, you now discuss gender. You explain what gender is, gender in relation to academic achievement and interest. Then let us hear 2 or 3 authors' definition of the word gender. Then finalize it with your own operational definition. Now, after that, then you can now state reasons. You can now let us to understand. You can now go into the last paragraph will now be reasons for this study. Why this study? You can now, after you have discussed all these things, you now use one paragraph to state the reason why for this study, justify the reason why you are conducting that study. When you now justify the reason why you are conducting the study, I can tell you that your background is now very okay. Now, what next do you need in your background? Things to avoid. What are the things to avoid in your background? There are things that you have to try to avoid in your background of the study. What are these things that you have to try to avoid in your background of the study? Number 1 is too old citation, too old. Avoid the use of too old citations, citations that are very old, 1955, 1986, 1999. No, avoid too old citations. Use citations that are not too old in your work, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, and so many others. Don't start a paragraph with intent citation. Don't start a paragraph with intent citation. When you are starting your paragraph, start with your own way before going into intent citation, referring to others' authors' work. Start with your own. Don't say, according to Chukwuemeka 2015, has added that. No, you don't use it to start a paragraph. Another thing you have to avoid when you are writing your work, not linking of your paragraph. Now, you avoid non-linking of your paragraphs. Try to avoid non-linking of your paragraph. Let all your paragraphs link. The last sentence in your previous paragraph have to introduce your first sentence in your new paragraph. That is how to write a very good background of the study. You don't just end something with economics, then you did not even talk that the next thing will be achievement, or you just explain the 2 things about achievement in the last sentence there. You explain things about economics, then you just move to achievement. No, your last sentence there is supposed to introduce your new paragraph. So if your new paragraph will be on achievement, then let your last sentence be on achievement in the previous paragraph. So it will now introduce your new paragraph. It will make your work to flow very well. Another thing you have to avoid is the use of the word divine. Use of the word avoid the use of the word divine. Chukwuemeka 2018 defined economics as Ekulobia 2020 defined achievement as stone. 2018 divine, avoid the word divine. You can use other words such as asserted that, opine that, believe that, explain that, stated that. There are a lot of things you can use. Please avoid the word divine. Another thing you have to avoid is plagiarism. In your background, avoid plagiarism. Stop doing copy and paste work. No, when see any point that you want to make use of, like you see Chukwuemeka 2015 statement or meaning of achievement, don't just copy and paste Chukwuemeka that oh it's Chukwuemeka. No, Turnitin will not allow you to go. Turnitin will strictly highlight it as what? Plagiarized statement. So you have to paraphrase it. Despite that it's Chukwuemeka definition, you still have to paraphrase it. You don't just say it the way Chukwuemeka have said it. If you put it like that in your background of the study or in any part of your work, Turnitin will definitely highlight it as a plagiarized statement. So kindly avoid plagiarism by paraphrasing all your sentences before putting it. Don't say because you have already cited Chukwuemeka is not plagiarism. No, Turnitin doesn't know that. Turnitin will definitely highlight it as a plagiarized word. Another thing you have to avoid is what? Avoid not giving operational definition. Try to make sure you have operational definition. Avoid not giving non-operational meaning of a word. You have to give operational meaning of all those things like the YouTube, Edumodi instructional technology, educational technology, achievement, economics, gender, interest. You must give your own operational definition or operational meaning of all these words. And remember, when you are giving it, you don't say that the author defined achievement as no. In the opinion of the author, believe that economics is this. That is how you put it. You don't say the author defined economics as. Avoid that. Another thing you have to avoid is avoid the use of multiple intent citation. Avoid the use of multiple intent citation referencing style. You will see a lot of people, they will be using multiple avoid the use of multiple intent citation style. When you are using Chicago, stick to your Chicago. When you are using MLA, stick to your MLA. If it is APA, remember we have various versions of APA, 6th edition, 7th edition, 5th edition. The correct one we are using in APA is 7th edition. If you are using APA 6th edition, stick to APA 6th edition all through in your work. Don't be mixing it together. For instance, what is the difference between APA 6th edition and 7th edition? For instance, if you want to cite a multiple author, like let's say 3 authors. Now, I now said Chukwuemeka, Ibrahim, and Obi. Chukwuemeka, Ibrahim, and Obi 2022 asserted that yes, that is okay for 6th edition. You don't come to another place in a new paragraph and says that Chukwuemeka, maybe you now want to cite another 3 authors. Let's say Ibrahim, Ikuforiji, and Jola Osho. If you are citing these people, you don't say Ibrahim, Ikuforiji, Jola Osho 2020. If you say that, that means you are still sticking to APA 6th edition. But if you now says that Ibrahim Eto 2020 asserted that, that is 7th edition. In 7th edition, you don't list the name of the authors first. You just mention the first author, then you use the word et al. So, but in 6th edition, you list all their names. Try to stick to one particular referencing style. Thank you. In our next class, I will be discussing how to write a good statement of the problem. Thank you.